Liz Rocks and Stuff. This is episode 119 of What's in My Tumbler, and I think I forgot to say that I'm Liz. But we are starting off with Candy Coated Chaos. This is green, pink, and yellow opal. I've also got some glass in here just for extra cushioning and to fill things up a little better. And first thing we're going to do is get everything rinsed off. So now this batch did have a rock that kind of crumbled while it was in stage 2. So I am very a little bit more cautious of kind of inspecting, making sure I'm not seeing any crumbled bits of rock in here, and checking to make sure there's nothing that's obviously broken since the last round. Everything's looking pretty good. I actually got a little bit nervous about my batches that I'm working on, and I kind of dried a piece off of everything to see how it's coming along, except the obsidian because I know how that's going. But I'm pleasantly surprised and optimistic about how everything is turning out. So this is the opal. It's in stage 3.5. And so it's going into final polish. This should be done next week. And I've got to say, I was pretty happy with how it's looking for this stage. So everything is kind of holding firm. Nothing is breaking anymore. It doesn't appear that there was any damage caused by that rock that was crumbling back in stage 2. So we'll see. This is going quite well. I did have a question, since sometimes I like to talk about things. I've been reflecting on this. I'm curious, is anybody a member of their local like mineral society or rock tumbling club? I know that there are ones everywhere, and there's actually two kind of in my area, one for the state and one for the county. And I've had interactions with them, but I'm not a member of either one. And I know that one has like monthly meetings. My county one has like a club you can go to where they have saws to cut stuff, and they meet fairly regularly. They have classes and things. And this is, by the way, Opal Quartz, so a mix of the opal from Candy Coated Chaos and leftover quartz from previous batches. It's currently in stage 1 still because I have a lot of this, so I'm kind of letting it just tumble until it's ready, but this is going to be me doing some inspection. So going back to the mineral societies, I've had interactions in person with both of them, and I've got to say, they're nice people. I think that I would have a good time if I joined them and did things with them, but I also don't get the impression that they have a high opinion of YouTubers. And not that I would have to tell them that I have a YouTube channel, like, I don't have to do that. But I also would feel like if I didn't tell them that I'm hiding part of, like, because this is what I do, and, like, I don't know. So I kind of get the impression, especially a lot of older people don't have a good opinion of people who make YouTube videos. And not that I make any money on it, but I don't think they understand the whole point. Because I just do this to share what I'm doing, which is kind of also the point of a mineral society, is to kind of share your knowledge and share what you're doing. By the way, this is a piece of glass that broke, and it's still very sharp. Not sharp enough to cut me, obviously, but that's the 2 bits of that. So that's definitely got to go in for another round of stage 1. And at that point, I was a little more careful about what I'm looking at to see and make sure there's nothing with sharp points. But I'm just curious if anybody is a member of their local mineral or rock society and what they think of it. I know mine go on trips where they go out and gather rocks, and they have discussions frequently about different types of rocks, and they have jewelry making classes, and they have stuff for kids. And I've run into them at local museum that does like a crystal mineral day event that I've gone to a few times. And like I said, they're nice people, but I don't know how well I would get along with them because I don't think they like YouTubers or people that I just don't think they understand it. So kind of anybody a member of theirs, and what do you do with it? And is it fun? Do you like it? Is it, like, I know ours does several things. I've looked into it, and it's not expensive, but it's also another thing I have a couple of hobbies that take up a lot of time, and then I wouldn't get that time with my kids. So maybe I'll join when my kids are a little older, and maybe I actually might enjoy it. But that's kind of been on my mind a little bit. But anyway, now we are talking about Softy Bunch, which is lepidolite and chrysocolla. The lepidolite being the purple. And this is currently in stage 2, going into stage 3. So again, I did dry off a couple of these pieces to see how they were doing. Cautiously optimistic. This is a soft rock, so I think they're about a 3. I have good luck with softer rocks though, so I don't. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I also don't want to be cocky and be like, oh yeah, I can tumble soft rocks and make them shiny. I just have good luck with them. I don't know why that might be. But yes, I'm cautiously optimistic. These are looking good for the fact that they've only been through stage 2, but I did add some more media to this. I am treating it like I treat my obsidian because I find that that's kind of the best way to treat soft rocks. You really want to put some cushioning in there. They do not want to be banging up against each other. I'm not quite doing the 50-50 media to rocks mix that I do with my obsidian, but I am making sure that this is a full barrel with lots of media, that these are not banging up against each other. And I'm also not putting as much grit in as I normally do. So, because softer rocks just don't break down the grit as much, especially in the first couple of stages. But in 3 and 4, like, that's pretty powdery anyway. You're not going to notice if it's not breaking down as much. But extra media, made sure this was pretty full. And I am going to do a 3.5 stage on this one. So I'm going to do a 5-stage tumble on this one as well. So, borax, and then this is stage 3 polish, 2 tablespoons, because I don't think it's going to need 3, and I even think 2 might be a little much, but I don't want to not put in enough. So this is the Softy Bunch going into stage 3, and so that's getting close to being done. All right, Shattered Dreams. This is the obsidian that got knocked off a table and broken after I had spent lots and lots of weeks polishing it. So most of this has already been ready for stage 2, and I just put it into another stage 1 to have enough to fill a barrel. So when I sort through this, if I'm putting it in the barrel saying it needs stage 1, I'm being fairly picky with it. That has like a white thing in it, and I can't tell if it's part of the obsidian or if it's like a broken piece of media. I don't think it's media. It's too deep in there and too small for it to be media, but it's just like a white bit in that crack. So I'll be keeping an eye on it because cracks like that, if they go all the way through, can break later on, and you don't want that. So I don't think that one goes all the way through though. But this is me kind of sorting, and at some point I'm just like, you know what, most of this is ready for stage 2. All these little bitty pieces have been ready for stage 2. So I just said, I'm just going to start a stage 2. So that this is the point where I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it all back in the barrel, because even the things that I thought needed more time in stage 1 didn't really need it. All of this has been tumbled before anyway. This is all was polished and all the way through to the end. So this, I added a little bit more media because it did need a little bit more, and then we're gonna do a soap cycle. So we're gonna put in some ivory soap, and then after the soap cycle, then we're going to put this into stage 2. So this is moving on. It's so exciting. I like it when I have things that are getting closer to being finished instead of having barrels that are just in stage 1 constantly. So doing a little bit of a rinse off here. I didn't bother to dry off one of these pieces because, one, they've been in stage 1, so they're not going to be there's nothing to see at this stage. I get more information cleaning off and drying rocks off that have been in at least stage 3 to see how they're going than anything else. Because at stage 3, it shouldn't be shiny, but it should have at least a little bit of like a sheen to it, like a satin finish almost. So I put everything back in, and then I'm gonna shake it around and kind of get all of the media settled back down, because I knew there were some big air pockets in the bottom. So now I'm gonna fill it up. Again, I fill my obsidian up. It's not 100%, but it's like 80 to 90% full, because it does need to have some room to move around, but you don't want to let it just bash into each other constantly. So this is a very full barrel. Most of it, well, about at least 50% of it should be media. This is maybe a little less than that, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so this is Shattered Dreams, moving into stage 2 finally. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you like your local mineral society and if you feel like they're worth joining. And I hope you have a good week.